Hello and welcome everybody on Forever Sports, Forever Rugby. Today we're live, of course, for the second leg of the World Series. That is the Cape Town Sevens. We just witnessed, or we're just about witnessing the ladies, the Blitzbok ladies, going down to France in the first game of the day. But up next we have Samoa against Australia in the men's division. Obviously, it's a revamped seven series that sees 12 teams featuring in three different pools. South Africa, of course, taking the Dubai Sevens last weekend. What an exciting final that was against Argentina. If you're a South African fan, 5 trophies in a row in Dubai. So it's something in the water under that Dubai sky, as we would mention. South Africa, of course, here in Cape Town at home, appreciative of all the support, but nonetheless looking to break that 8-year drought at Cape Town. They won the inaugural Cape Town Sevens series when it first came in 2015. But of course, South Africa have not won it since. So the Blitzboks have a little bit of pressure, but we saw a resurgence of the Blitzboks last weekend. A lot of people were counting them out the last few seasons, perhaps not living up to the standard that they set so high in those glory days. But of course, with the return of the likes of Roscoe Speckman, Speck Magic, of course, and then the ever-present experience of Justin Geduld, the Blitzboks were able to pull that one through in Dubai and win their 5th consecutive title. They'll be looking, of course, to win here in Cape Town, as I mentioned, to break that drought. We look forward to them at 10 to 11 this morning, South African Standard Time. They'll be up against Great Britain in their first pool game, and then their second pool game will be at 12 minutes past 2 against the United States of America. As I mentioned, here on Forever Sports, we'll be live for every single one of those games. Whether it be myself, I'll be taking you through the first 2 pool games. We've got Dan, we've got Steve. It's going to be an exciting day of rugby, of course. Just to mention as well, a shout out to one of the sponsors of the page, BOYLESPORTS. Guys, if you do have an opportunity, you're feeling a bit lucky, there is a competition going on where you can put down a bet, open an account on BOYLESPORTS, put a minimum bet down of 20 Rand on any rugby game. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Sevens. It can be the URC, I beg your pardon. It can be the Champions Cup. It can be the Challenge Cup. And you stand a chance to win tickets to the Bulls and the Stormers in Cape Town on the 23rd of December. The Stormers will be hosting the Bulls, of course, in that game. So do go and make an account on BOYLESPORTS. 20 Rand with an opportunity to win those tickets. 2 of South Africa's premium teams so far in the United Rugby Championship. But that is that for now. Up next, we have Samoa, as I mentioned, against Australia. It's 7 minutes aside, guys, for those of you who are not aware. The pace is fast, the errors must be minimal, and your opportunity with ball in hand needs to be taken so that you can get points on the board. If you don't have possession, you'll find yourself working against the clock, should I say, the clock working against you, and before you know it, a whole half is gone. So we look forward to Samoa against Australia, of course, up at 28 minutes past 10, South African Standard Time. We have Fiji against France, of course, the next game. And then at 10 to 11, as I mentioned, South Africa up against Great Britain. That is 10 to 11 South African Standard Time. But for the moment, I see the 2 teams, Samoa and Australia, coming out onto the pitch. And it's fever pitch here in Cape Town. There is a bit of a swirling wind going around. The conditions overhead are good, though. So it'll be interesting to see how they deal with the contestable kicks from the restart. We know how important it is, as we mentioned, to get possession back. But with that swirling wind in Cape Town, how will it affect the errors, the unforced errors from each side in holding on to the ball? Clear skies. The referee, of course, today is a Uruguayan referee. He'll be taking charge. You'll come to see a lot of the referees being blooded on the 7th circuit. What a better place. There is no better place, should I say, than the 7th circuit to really adapt yourself to this game of rugby because things happen so fast. You have to make decisions fast. And we see the crowd trickling in, of course. Still a whole day ahead of us, as well as the quarterfinals, semi-finals, and finals tomorrow. But for now, here in Cape Town, the men are underway. It's Samoa from left to right. And this time they kick deep into Australia's 22. But Australia have possession, and they are going to play from left to right, from 5 meters from their try line. And so far, they've made a bit of headway on this right-hand side, outside their 22, Australia, and they have a penalty. Samoa infringing at ruck time. A little bit over eager there, not rolling away after making that tackle. And Australia have an opportunity here to exit. And that's the thing here. You come to find some of the teams do, in fact, still kick for touch, which is what we see here from Australia, putting the ball out just about on halfway on this right-hand touch line with their feed into the line-out. Coach of Australia looking on tentatively there. Australia play quickly from the line-out. From right to left they go. We're on this 15-meter mark of touch. Over halfway, Australia still with possession. We saw Samoa last weekend push Argentina close, but unfortunately could not get themselves into that semi-final. And Australia now down this right-hand side are up just about to the 22, letting the ball do the work. Here come Australia, fending away one, drawing in another defender, and it's try time. Australia score the first try of the Cape Town Sevens men's division. It's Henry Palmer. You won't keep him out of the game. Just remember the name. Henry Palmer finishes off. The last man there, the attacking player, just drawing the final Samoan defender, and he had the presence of mind to offload. And there to receive it was Henry Palmer, and Australia up by 5 points to 0. Remember, the conversions in sevens is a drop kick, no placement. This one is sailing. It's going to be miss on this left-hand upright, but it's 5 points to 0 with 4.5 minutes to play in this first half, folks. It's going to be all action here in Cape Town, of course. We see the crowd coming in by this afternoon, I'm sure, and no doubt the playoffs, hoping the Blitz box, of course, can emulate last weekend. The crowd will be in full capacity as Australia gather the ball from their own restart. Keep in mind, when you score a try, you will actually take the restart yourself, for those of you who don't know. And Australia have gone back, but here they come ahead now, charging forward inside the 10-meter mark of Samoa. The ball is bobbling a bit loose, and this time Samoa, for the first real time in this first half, have an opportunity in possession, playing from inside their own 10-meter mark. Australia over the ball, but the referee is saying the tackler must release the tackled player before he can have his hands legally on the ball. He has to show some sort of daylight. I think it was Downing there of Australia. Just a little bit over eager. So Samoa, precious possession here in this first half with just over 3 minutes to play. But unfortunately, an unforced error from the penalty kick, looking for touch. And as a result, Australia will come back and they will have a scrum. And that's inside Samoa's half. So really, Samoa there could ill afford that error, not being in possession of the ball for much of this first half, trailing by 0 points to 5. And Australia have a scrum here just on the 15-meter mark, just inside Samoa's half here, with a platform from the set piece. Australia feed. They're on the attack again, shifting the ball wide down this left-hand side. It's into the hands of Palmer again. Head down, leg drive from Henry Palmer. It's a loose ball. Australia recycling quickly at the base, but just a slight fumble but still Australia in possession. Palmer again, ever present in this game. Henry Palmer. Australia still stuck on halfway just about, or just inside their own half. There's a little fin from the attacking player of Australia. And this time around, Samoa are all over the ball legally, and they play quickly here. Is there an opportunity for an offload? They're almost up to the 22. Playing from right to left. We're centre field. Samoa in possession. Can somebody make the switch? Is there a moment of magic? Lovely step. But the offload is straight into the hands of Australian player. And the Wallabies now. Surely they can come away here. Who's got the gas to go all the way? Is it Henry Palmer down this left-hand touchline? You won't catch him. He'll go all the way. Australia try number 2. Just over a minute to play in this first half. And once Henry Palmer got the ball, he had made his mind up. I don't think he was even at full tilt there. Cruising speed. No cover defense for Samoa. And the last defender just about gave up. And Henry Palmer there, you can see, putting everything in. But perhaps keeping that last bit of gas, which he didn't need. But he's over the try line, and Australia are up by 10 points to 0. Relatively tough conversion. Then he shanked it to the right-hand side. So Australia, 2 unconverted tries. 20 seconds. Just about of normal time in this first half. And Australia will take the restart. Dietrich Roche with the restart here. This time around, Australia making an unforced error. So there is a real opportunity for Samoa just before half-time with a free kick. The ball not travelling the allocated 10 metres that it has to. So Samoa got the free kick on halfway, tap and go. And they've gone a few metres backwards now, but there's an offload on their 10-metre mark. Who can come at pace? Australia over eager again. The interpretation of the referee so important, but you've got to show daylight. And of course, Samoa will be looking to make a play here and end this first half with a try of their own. Still trailing 0 points to 10. Time up in normal time of this first half. So if the ball goes dead now, that will be it. Play on, says the referee. The ball comes loose from the ruck. And Australia, though, have cancelled out that idea. And they will score try number 3. It's Longbottom who scores the try for Australia. The third try, Maurice Longbottom. Opportunistic. The ball was out, says the referee. It bubbled loose. And Maurice Longbottom put in a shift all of 50 metres to score the try. It's 15 points to 0. The conversion to come. What a try there for Australia. Try number 3. It's sailing, and it's wide. It's half-time, folks. Remember the half-time break in sevens. Only 2 minutes, so not much for the coaches to get into the players' minds. It's got to be a switch, a confidence thing. But as we mentioned, you've got to get your hands on the ball. And for that first half, much of the first half, it seemed Samoa was struggling to get their hands on the ball. And as a result, the scoreline, a very, very fair reflection at 15 points to 0. All is not said and done, though. It is more than 2 scores. But as we know, drama in sevens is ever occurring. We welcome all the fans from wherever you tuned in. If you're a South African fan, it's 10:15 in the morning. And we're rugbying already. As we said, rugby's live all day here on Forever Sports. Don't forget, there will be Stevie P who will be live with some sevens, some Champions Cup as well, today and tomorrow, as well as the Challenge Cup for the likes of the Cheetahs, Lions and Sharks. For the Bulls and Stormers, it's Champions Cup rugby. It's going to be an exciting day of rugby here on Forever Sports as we approach this second half under the Cape Town sun. The crowd are definitely getting involved in their festivities. Sometimes you find the crowd just looking for an excuse to party. It is December, of course. Some or most people perhaps on their December holidays already, whether it be university or work. As we see a gusting wind blowing, so the ball can do all sorts of things under this Cape Town sky, and Australia do in fact get the second half underway. Samoa thought they were away there after a contestable kick, but for the moment it's still 15 points to 0. Knocked on in the air there. It looked like a Samoan hand, so it will be an Australian feed. We're on the 5 meter mark of touch on this right-hand touch line on Samoa's 10 meter line. So in their own half, Australia attacking 40 meters to the try line of Samoa. Can Australia make something happen here from this set piece? From right to left, here come the Wallabies. Lovely step off. And here's an opportunity now. Is it Dietrich Roche in this left-hand corner? And Australia, in fact, do score try number 4. It's Dietrich Roche who scores, the man with the scrum cap on. You can't miss him. But he was the receiver there after a lovely step off the right foot. The presence of mind to offload, offloading, looking for your player who's running into space is everything in this 7-man game. And for the moment, Samoa have absolutely no response, folks. What do you make of South Africa against Great Britain? South Africa against USA later on. Today, of course, they'll be looking to open their account strong. The defending Dubai champions on a high from that 5th consecutive title, but obviously looking to break that 8-year drought in Cape Town. For the moment, Australia putting on the heat here, owning the space here, 20 points to 0, but gifting the restart to Samoa, who gather quite easily. And it's route 1 for the attacking player of Samoa. They play from deep, right to left. The ball is shifted right down to this left-hand touchline. Defenders falling off here. And Samoa, for the moment, in Australia's half, still in possession, still looking for their first try. It's a missed tackle. They can ill afford it, but they can also ill afford throwing loose passes there, Samoa. And the ball goes into touch. Australia managing to weather that storm there, just over 4 minutes to play in this match. And if Samoa don't do something very, very quickly, all could be lost for them. And to add insult to injury, Australia have the feed to the line out on this right-hand touchline. Unforced error there from Australia. It looks like they were taking too long, and Samoa do have the ball. Is it now for Samoa? Is there a comeback on the cards? They just need someone to break the duck. Is this it? Samoa go all the way. Simply sensational. We called it that it had to happen. And it's Falaniko who scores the try for Samoa. Fafoi Falaniko, your beauty. Samoa there with the free kick, capitalizing from that unforced error. And Falaniko in on this left-hand side. He would have liked to make the conversion a little bit easier, but actually, in fact, it's sailing, it's over, and it's a 7-pointer for Samoa. Strap on, folks, this could be it. 3 minutes to go. If you're a Samoan fan, you want to believe Australia feel perhaps they've done just enough. Samoa would want to get this ball back from the restart, however. It's high, it's hanging, but Australia come away with it. Samoa committing to trying to get that ball back. And now Australia shift it down the center, and this will be a 7-pointer. Josh Turner for Australia, right under the sticks. Samoa overcommitting there to try and contest for that kick. And as a result, leaving this left-hand touchline open. The cover defender came across, but he had some support on his inside. And it was Josh Turner for Australia who scores. Or should I say James? Is it Josh? It is Josh Turner. There is a James Turner as well. Josh Turner scores under the posts. As we say, it's a 7-pointer. It's 27 points to 7, Australia up. And one feels that should be the first win of the belt for Australia today. Under 2 minutes to play, you can see the displeasure on the face of the Samoan coach. But the margins here in the sevens game, of course, so small. Australia kick off. And this time around, another unforced error from the restart. So looking for tight margins, trying to put it on the pin there on that 10-meter mark. But Samoa, desperate to play quickly. Centre field to this left-hand side. The ball pops loose. Is there an opportunity here? Miraculously, it bounces back for Samoa. Still inside their own half, though. Centre field. Australia all over the ball. There's a minute to play. Is there another try in Australia's locker? So far up by 27 points to 7. You have to get possession of that ball, and when you do, you have to make sure that you can utilize your opportunities, utilize the space. And for the moment, Samoa have not been able to do that. There's still 2 group games to go, of course, for Samoa, for all the teams. Starting 3 games, of course, as we mentioned. Australia and Samoa will have 2 left. And for the moment, Australia in possession. From left to right they go, shifting the ball wide, letting the ball do the work. There's another lovely step. There's a tight muscle up there on defense, but Australia, again, keep possession. There's a chip over the top here. The bounce of the ball is in favor of Samoa. Lovely little ankle tap from the Australian defender. But Samoa, can they have a consolation try here? Breaking free now. On halfway, centre field. The ball is stripped loose. It's up and down. It's topsy-turvy, but Australia have possession. They decide to put it out. And Australia will win this game. 27 points to 7 against Samoa. We've kicked off the first game of the men's. Thank you all for tuning in. Australia win by 27 points to 7. Stay tuned. There's still a lot of rugby to come, folks. Of course, we saw Australia just defeat Samoa by 27